others. He and other senior citizens who had retired after a generation of service to the people and country formed a group through which they supported one another. They are also a useful resource to the local community. In the 21 years since his retirement, Eliud has been a determined dairy and avocado farmer. Early beginnings. Eliud used to say he was born at the end of the Second World War. In fact, he was born on February 6, 1945, the firstborn child of Charles Munyori and Miss Lynette Washera. His other mother is Susan Wangeshi. His siblings were Nathan Kagonda, Milka Wanjiro, Kafiro, John Mago, Milka Wairimo Itote, Peter Moreithi, Joel Fuko, the late Elizabeth Waitherero, Grace Wanjiro, and Monica Wangari Mwathe. Education. At the age of 7 in 1952, he started school at Munyori Primary, about 4 kilometers from here. But the Mau Mau War broke out the same year and a state of emergency was declared. Schools were closed and people in this area were kicked out of here because of its proximity to the Aberdares forest and had to seek shelter among relatives and friends. The situation became very volatile, and Eliud, his mothers and siblings left from Mombasa to join his father, who was employed as a confectioner in the coastal town. In Mombasa, he rejoined school at Mvita Primary with his younger brother Kagonda in 1954. The following year, they returned home but had to live in villages the colonial authorities had established all over central Kenya to separate the Mau Mau from the people. He then registered at Kiamuturi Primary School in 1955, where he studied up to Standard 4 and started the Common Entrance Examination, Common, in 1958. He passed and in 1959 joined Gasharagaine Intermediate School for Standard 5 to 8. This is where Kereti Girls Secondary stands today. Eliud completed intermediate school in 1962 and sat the Kenya African Primary Education, KAPE, examination. He passed and joined Kirogo Secondary, one of the 3 boys' schools in the entire Muranga at the time. The other 2 were Njiris and Gaishajiro School. It was at Kirogo Secondary that Eliud's leadership skill became noticed and he was appointed the school captain in his final year. Eliud completed high school and sat the Form 4 examination in 1966. Shortly afterwards, in March 1967, he got a job with Gridley's Bank, later to become Kenya Commercial Bank. His salary was 660, a lucrative sum at the time. But he worked at the bank for only 3 months. He got admission to Kenyatta Teachers Training College, now Kenyatta University, to train as a secondary 1 teacher. He therefore resigned at the bank for higher education studies. Some family. Eliud married the love of his life, Margaret, in September 1967, when both of them were in their early 20s. It is a union that has stood strong for a whopping 54 years. In February 1982, they solemnized their marriage in church. They were blessed with 5 children who are now adults and with their own families. Munyori Fuko, Lynette Washera, Penina Washuka Seme, Daniel Kafiri, and Nathan Kagonda. Eliud was also a grandfather of Joy Ivy and Anne Munyori, Phil Eliud Fuko Washera, Hope and Zoe Seme, Margaret, Kate, Claire, and Zawadi Kagonda. Church. Eliud was a Christian from his childhood and early school. He was baptized and confirmed in his youth. He was also a worshipper at Roro ACK, where he fully participated in church matters. He was also at the front line of church development activities, including fundraisers. When the church wanted to modernize its ablutions, Eliud contributed the initial funds. Illness and demise. Eliud has been a healthy person for the longest time of his life, but in November 2018, he walked into Aga Khan University Hospital for routine checkup. Unfortunately, he was diagnosed with a diseased kidney. The kidney was treated at 76. The family would like to thank doctors at the two hospitals for the professional care they gave Eliud.